Guys, got some more pretty rogue gameplay for you guys actually from bt11. I've been enjoying this format a lot, but I wanted to take a look at a card I think has been a little bit overlooked. So at the top, my opponent is playing Lordknightmon, one of my favorite decks. Really cool from back in the day, but I'm talking about the deck I'm playing at the bottom, which is going to be basically like a Titamon control deck. So bt11 came out with a lot of new green support, mainly like the Tyrannomon line, but we also did get the bt11 Titamon. As you see, there's 3 in my hand, but this card is actually pretty good. Like, despite the support, I think the support is what holds it back. Like, a lot of the currently existing green cards for this kind of style of control deck are not really, like, very competitive. But Titamon himself is pretty cool. You got piercing, you got the ability to suspend a wide board by just trashing cards in your hand and gaining memory back. So really, really good at outing just big stacks and clearing boards. So our opponent is playing the Lordknightmon up top, Kodamon into the Rapidmon, which is super unfortunate. So I'm just going to bide my time a little bit, build up into the Metal Mega Kabuterimon in the back. Old school card that we haven't seen in quite a while, being able to trash a security card when you delete something. The new bt11 Metal Tyrannomon does the exact same thing, but it just costs 4, and in this deck it doesn't realistically make a difference. So opponent is just going to make an LK in the back with the Angelomon stack. So if we do put him down to 3, he'll be able to spawn out 2 things. I'm just going to wait until basically my opponent promotes so that I can answer his board. So I'm just going to go Kabuterimon plus green memory boost. A little bit inefficient since our opponent goes to 3 anyways, but putting up a blocker is fine because I can save myself with security. Here we're going to see Lordknightmon swing and then minus 4k on the Knightmon. So the Kabuterimon would be a 1k. I'm going to block anyways, just because I can sense like a Starmon coming down or something like that. It'd be pretty easy for him to just get rid of my Kabuterimon, so I might as well save myself with security. And then we're going to see Lordknightmon number 2, and then a Gladymon played for 4, being able to look at the security and add a Warrior or Holy Warrior, adding it to your hand and then recovering 1. So this is a little bit unfortunate because our opponent does have double Lordknightmon on field. Each of them are 14,000 because all turns you gain plus 1k for each other Digimon, which is just matching my Titamon here. Titamon with the inherited from the Agumon there is going to be plus 2k since we got a Tamer in play. Putting him at 14k, not quite enough to be able to answer the Lordknightmons, but I need to make a move, otherwise my opponent will out-tempo me and the Lordknightmons will only get bigger and I'll be stuck on a bad stack and breeding. So I'm going to go ahead and promote and then discarding a couple of cards from my hand. So I get to discard X number of cards. I think it's up to 3. And then you gain, suspend each opponent's Digimon for that many, and then gain 1 for your each of your opponent's suspended Digimon. And I should actually gain 4 here because it counts the total number of suspended Digimon. So it should be a 4. Don't think it'll really make a difference. Regardless, I'm just going to be able to swing over the Gladymon piercing check for 1, as well as trashing a security off of the Mega Kabuterimon there. So effectively getting rid of 2 our opponent's security cards. Also drawing a card off the Gummymon since one of our opponent's Digimon was suspended. Now Mimi would be really, really nice here. That might be something I'll play going forward. As much as I like Davis for the consistency here, Mimi, I'd be able to suspend her and then use up that like 3 to 4 extra memory I'm gaining to make just like another stack to immediately pump out next turn. So I would honestly recommend you guys playing Mimi if you are trying to try out the Titamon deck. But regardless, our opponent is going to swing into the Titamon, minus 4 with the Knightmon, and then minus 5 on the Agumon there with the Starmons. Playing both because we got the Angelomon to play level 3, as well as Lordknightmon to play a Warrior, as well as gaining the memory off of Patamon and drawing off of Upa. So Lordknightmon number 2 is going to summon out another Knightmon. Can't attack this turn, but our opponent's got like 5 Digimon on field, and I don't have the Death X to be able to punish it right now. Our opponent is going to go Gladymon and Pedomon. So at this point, 2 16,000 Lord Knights. Blocker on field, two swings that will spawn out something else next turn, as well as a bunch of Digimon on field. It's looking really bad for me. So I am playing also the bt11 Tyrannomon that gives you plus 2,000, and then with the Star Deck Palmon, that does put me to 16k. So check number 1 is going to be Megadeth. So we're going to basically suspend the Lord Knight, second Lord Knight, to bounce it back to the field, or bounce back to the hand, and then of course, because our opponent has it in hand, we can just evolve, Swing again. Nothing is going to come out. Knightmon is going to swing, hitting a Taiga. Gladymon is going to swing. Last check is going to be Megadeth. Slight misplay here. So we are going to suspend the Pitomon, but then I'm going to bounce the Knightmon in the back, which was unsuspended. Realistically, we should just bounce one of the Gladymon or something else. But it isn't actually going to matter because right here, it's really going to be down to the number of Digimon, not actually the Digimon themselves on the field. So just bear with me a little bit, guys, but I do apologize about that. I'm going to bring out the stack Digivolve for -2 because of the Taigas, and then gaining 5 memory because of the number of suspended Digimon my opponent has, and then going to be able to swing into the first light in Lordknightmon because it is 15,000. I'm +4 from the Palmon as well as the Tyrannomon there. Unsuspending because of the fact that I deleted a 6 or higher off of the Metal Tyrannomon Inherited. Piercing, checking 1 card, hitting a TK, being able to get another card. And then I'm just going to be able to utilize this effect multiple times because the Metal Tyrannomon is not once per turn, and also the Palmon is not once per turn. So when attacking, I just keep gaining 2,000 and then killing a stack and then piercing. Now, the only real downside about this is the fact that it has to be a level 6 or higher that you delete. Because effectively, otherwise you could unsuspend infinitely. So I am going to just be able to beat over most of the field. And then going to play Betamon to just try to establish a blocker here, since I do have the Kabuterimon in hand. Going to Digivolve that for 1. And unfortunately just have a lot of memory, but not really being able to do too much with it. That's kind of the downside of a green deck that's not like playing the Digisorption package or Bloom Lord or anything. You're not doing anything really unfair. Like I said, Titamon I think could be a really good card depending on the format. It's not super strong against like single stack decks. It's more for like wide boards because you gain just a bunch of memory. And then shout out to Chaosmon here. We are going to go Chaosmon, unsuspend basically, attack over the Pedo, and then pass it over to opponent. No piercing, can't pierce for game. Course, and so our opponent's got 1 body on field, we got 1 blocker, but realistically with any deck like this, it's probably going to be playing something like Abushi Agumon or Kazemon or something. So we're going to swing, Kabuterimon is going to be forced to block, and then going to pop the memory boost to go to 6 and then play Bushi for a game. So Lordknight is going to take the game number 1. In game number 2, we are going to make the opponent go first, since we do want to kind of out-tempo our opponent. We want to basically answer their stack with ours, so we're going to make them go first. Starting off with a TK is not terrible, but missing the rookie, and even then Insecurity didn't have a rookie there. So we're going to start off with a Palmon. Davis is going to put us to 3 every turn, and then we're going to be able to grab a Tyrannomon here. So already getting the good inherited, we're going to go ahead Digivolve Tyrannomon, putting our opponent to 3. So basically being able to have a 16,000 Titamon. I'm also playing Parasitmon. That's how you know this deck is just like super copium. But the theory is basically you have like a Parasitmon stack, and then you like swing with it, and you like stick it underneath your Titamon to where you're like piercing, checking 2 with 2,000 plus DP, and then if you've got the Metal Tyrannomon on suspense also, you can do some crazy combos, but I haven't actually gotten off it testing, so it's probably not really a good card to play. But anyways, our opponent's going to have the War Growlmon in the back, and so I'm just going to go ahead and evolve into my Metal Tyrannomon, expecting a Lordknightmon sometime soon, so I'm going to be able to answer that and then just attack over multiple things. Kodamon is going to be dropped onto the field here, revealing 5, adding up to 2 yellows with Warrior and a Holy Warrior. Really strong search effect. The only problem is the card pool is just like super limited. It's really just Glady, Lordknight, and Knightmon. Otherwise, I think it'd be a much better searcher. So Gladymon is going to be coming down here for a cost of 4, looking at the security once again, to grabbing the Knightmon, so we can possibly expect a Lordknight-Knightmon combo to hit the board here soon. So I think it's okay to just wait a little bit. If we do promote, there's not really like, okay, we can answer like his Gladymon or whatever, but then his Lordknight just kills us the next turn. So I'm just going to Palmon, evolve into Kabuteri, and then Digivolve into Metal Tyrannomon, effectively having like 2 stacks ready to go, so that our opponent like has to push out. Like this basically forces your opponent to push out, because if they don't, I'm going to have 2 stacks of Titamon, and okay, he can answer 1, but it's unrealistic to answer 2 in like 1 turn. So we're just going to see the Lord Knight evolved for 3. Of course, Digibursting minus 4,000 on the Metal Tyrannomon. Being only 6,000 DP is pretty terrible, but I guess if it was 8,000 it wouldn't have mattered. So we're going to swing, drop the Knightmon, neg DP on the Metal Tyrannomon, and then Venusmon is going to be evolved for 4 here. Venusmon is a very, very annoying Digimon to deal with. So Venusmon just being able to shut off all of the when attacking and when evolving effects, being able to turn off the Titamon, stuff like the Palmon as well, not being able to get that extra DP boost. So I'm basically just going to have to pass turn here. Otherwise, it's not really worth it since the Lord Knight was at 14,000. I'd have to crash, and at that point, I'm losing the game. So just going to play a Palmon Tyrannomon here. Lord Knight's going to swing minus 5 on the Tyrannomon with the Starmons. Venus is going to swing into security, putting us down to 2 security here. So if we see a Kazemon or something from our opponent, that could close out the game. But instead, we're just going to see the Gladymon swing, Kotamon evolved in the back. Still sitting at 3 memory, so can do a little bit of digging with the yellow memory boost. Can reveal 4 and grabbing the Pidomon. So I still think he's in a really good position. Can't close out the game this turn, but we can definitely just like evolve the Pidomon and then pass it over to me. So he's got a blocker and a 14,000 Lordknightmon. Venusmon not doing anything currently because I don't have Sec Attack on any of my Digimon. So I'm totally free to Digivolve into the Titamon for a cost of 3 because the Taiga, being able to utilize the effect, just discarding probably 2 to gain back some memory. So being able to gain back 4 memory here is pretty nasty. Again, like Titamon is such a cool card in concept, but it's just not really there yet, I don't think. So being able to attack over the Venus, pierce from 1, and then of course drawing off the Gummymon, and then unsuspending with the Metal Tyrannomon, swinging into the Lordknightmon, piercing once again, and just being able to clear opponent's board and simultaneously like check their security is really nice. Unsuspended Titamon still on the field, so we can definitely attack over something like the Pidomon. But of course, the fact that we're at 1 security, our opponent still has 2 Digimon in play. No Chaosmon to save us this time, so I'm probably going to have to just like Megadeth the Kotamon, and if he has a hybrid, he has it. But he didn't drop it last turn, so unless he just draws a return, I guess that's possible. So we're just going to play Green Memory Boost and then bounce the Kotamon back to hand with the Megadeth. Putting our opponent to 4. So the Kotamon there is just going to swing in security, hitting Lily, and that is going to close it out with the Bushi for game. But guys, that's going to do for this one. Let me know if you enjoyed this gameplay. It's been really fun just messing around with the rogue decks. But anyways, guys, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.